Let's see how we can use the VSTACK function in Google Sheets. First, we need to go to Google Sheets by clicking on Sheets from Google Apps. Let's click on Blank Spreadsheet. This creates and opens a blank sheet called Untitled Spreadsheet. We will rename this for easy future access to VSTACK function. Let's say we want data of employee ID and employee name for Department 1 and Department 2 in two sheets. First, we will add sheet by clicking the plus sign. We see that sheet 2 is created. We will add sheet 3 as well. Let's rename sheet 2 to DEPT1, that is, Department 1, and sheet 3 to DEPT2, that is, Department 2. Now let's create our data in Department 1 sheet. Say we have serial number in column A, employee ID in column B, and employee name in column C. We will take the data for 5 employees. For serial number we will use the sequence function with rows as 5, columns 1, start 1 and step 1. This gives the serial number from 1 to 5. We will reuse the sequence formula for employee ID of Department 1 employees. Employee names are say A, B, C, D and E. Let's copy this data and paste in Department 2 sheet. We will not change the serial number, but let's say the employee ID for Department 2 employees starts from 11, we see that the employee ID is taken as 11 to 15. Let's say the employee names are F, G, H, I and J. So we have the data ready for Department 2 and Department 1. Suppose Sheet 1 is the master data sheet. Let's first rename the sheet to Master Data. We want both the data from Department 1 and Department 2 sheets in Master Data. We will copy-paste the header or title from Department 1 sheet into the Master Data sheet. For serial number we will use the sequence function. Argument for rows we will see in a moment, and we will write for columns 1, start 1, and step 1. For rows argument, we will use the count function with Department 1 sheet range B2 to be as argument. This will give the count of employees in Department 1. We want Department 1 and Department 2 data in the master data sheet, so to this we will add the count of employees in Department 2 by using the same formula and changing Department 1 to Department 2. We see that we get the serial number from 1 to 10 as we have 5 employees in Department 1 and 5 employees in Department 2. To get the data for employee ID and employee name from both department sheets, we will use the VSTACK function. VSTACK function appends ranges vertically. It takes range 1 and optional range 2, and so on. An example is shown. VSTACK function appends ranges vertically and in sequence to return a larger array. For our case, range 1 we want to take as range B2 to C6 from Department 1 sheet. But we will not give the range directly. Instead, we will use the INDIRECT function, giving a cell reference specified by a string. It takes cell reference as string and optional is A1 notation as the arguments. Default value of is A1 notation is true. We will be using the A1 notation, so we need not specify the second argument. By default it will be true. To not make any error, we will try to select the range B2 to C in DEPT1 sheet and then put this in quotations as required by the function. We will then write ampersand and use the count function to get the value 6 as the range is from B2 to C6. count DEPT1B2 to B will give 5 as 5 employee data is available, we need to add 1 to get 6. We need to add 1 because the first row is a header and we have not counted it. We have used the count function which gives the number or count of numeric values in a dataset, since the employee IDs used were numbers. If employee IDs were text or alphanumeric, then we could use the COUNTA function which gives the number or count of values in a dataset irrespective of type. For range 2 we can copy and paste the same formula and change DEPT1 to DEPT2. And voila, we get both Department 1 and Department 2 employee details in master datasheet. Let's do some formatting of the data. We could have given hard-coded values for ranges and it would have worked, but say if new employee details are added in Department 1 or Department 2 or both sheets, we would need to manually update the range. With this indirect method any changes will be auto-updated. Let's say 2 employees join Department 1, let's change the rows of sequence function from 5 to 7. Let's say they are K and L. We see that the data in the master data sheet is updated, serial number is changed from 10 that is 5 plus 5 to 12 that is 7 plus 5 and the new employees K and L with IDs 6 and 7 are added. With this, we have successfully learned how to use the VSTACK function in Google Sheets. Thank you for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe if this video was useful.